Hello everyone, I'm Brian Dragon and welcome back to Microsoft Dangerous Creatures. Just gonna turn my fan off there. So yeah, no video capture device today, because you know it takes up a good portion of the screen. And I want you see all of this, so today, Australian Walkabout.
Here we are in Australia, ready to go, as the Aboriginal people would say, on walkabout. Now that means going off into the bush. We'll see a lot of odd creatures here, monotremes and marsupials. Well, they're no more odd than we are, really, except they live only in Australia and on surrounding islands. Got your hats and walking sticks ready? Well, hopefully we won't need more than one first aid kit. Click the button at the right and we'll get started.
Hopefully we won't need more than one first aid kit. That could be Australia's country's. It could be the country's motto.
What is that? Oh, definitely not a monotreme or a marsupial. No. Oh, it's one of those show-off frilled lizards. Oh, they spread their neck frills, hiss and lunge at you, and they can even raise up on their two hind feet and trot after you. Oh, they're quite impressive, actually, but they think much too much of themselves. They're always appearing on television in those nature shows and all that. Pay this one no mind. Just walk on. Well, if it's not reptiles on the ground, it's reptiles in the trees, for heaven's sake. These are green tree pythons. Well, yes, of course, I can see that they're not green. They're obviously not even the same color. But they are green tree pythons. You see, they're just juveniles. Well, take my word for it. I have a PhD in zoology.
They're very cool looking.
Here's an adult. Oh, a rather large specimen, I might add. Oh, believe me, those two youngsters will turn green like this with time. Those pits around its mouth help the python to detect heat, and that makes it easier to find warm-blooded prey. Oh, not to worry. We're not its natural prey. I was thinking more of a bird or a bat. At last, we're getting to the monotremes. Oh, just like those pythons we were looking at, the little anteater shown here at the bottom lays eggs. That's why we say that the echidna is a monotreme, a primitive type of mammal closely related to the reptiles from which it evolved more than 200 million years ago. But a mother echidna doesn't guard a bunch of eggs like a python would. Oh, no. She just lays one egg into a special pouch on her abdomen. And after about 10 days, the baby hatches. It stays in its mother's pouch until it starts to develop prickly spines, at which point you can't blame Mom for insisting that it get out. Here's the only other type of monotreme on Earth today. Now, when Europeans first saw the dried skin, bill, and feet of a platypus, they thought it was somebody's idea of a joke. And they didn't even know about the platypus's behavior, about how it laid an egg and nursed its young. Oh, speaking of nursing, did you know that the milk of monotremes just oozes out onto their fur in special patches, and the babies lick it off instead of suckling like other mammals do? Rather messy, I'd imagine. I'm feeling a bit sticky myself in this heat. How about a visit to the beach and a quick dip?
Hold on. That.
Don't pet a platypus, unless you know it's a female. You see, the males have sharp, venomous spikes on their back legs. Well, actually, the females probably wouldn't appreciate being handled either.
No idea what that sound was.
Well, perhaps not. That's a saltwater crocodile, and they have been known to eat people. Well, not often, of course, but I don't want to be one of those front-page statistics in the Australian newspapers. And if any of you were to be eaten, they'd probably stick me back at that desk job again, alphabetizing animals by their scientific names, which nobody can ever seem to agree on for more than a month at a time. And, well, as they say, regression is the better part of valor. Is that right? Well, anyway, I mean to say, let's retreat. But don't turn your backs on this beast. And what is that down there on the ground? Oh no, it's a Sydney funnel web spider. Oh, these are feisty little spiders, and their venom is quite deadly. No, it's a good thing we've got on hiking boots. Back away, slowly, quietly. Don't make it mad. The rumor is that these fellows have bad tempers. Although how you can tell what a spider is thinking, I've no idea.
Yes, how do you figure out what a spider is thinking?
Finally, a marsupial! Oh, marsupials give birth to live young, but the babies are very undeveloped, really little more than embryos. These worm-like babies make their way to mom's pouch, where they latch onto a nipple and start nursing. They complete their development in the pouch. Now, why people sometimes call this marsupial a koala bear, I don't know. I suppose it's because it looks like a little toy teddy bear. But it's not even related to bears, so please, just call it a koala.
Yes, call it a koala, not a koala bear.
And these marsupials are wallabies, like kangaroos, only smaller. According to the fossil evidence we've discovered so far, marsupials first evolved during the late Cretaceous period, somewhere around 100 million years ago. They seem to have started out in South America and then roamed up to North America, down to Antarctica, and up to Australia. It wasn't so hard to move between those places then, because all the continents were in different places than they are now. Back then, there were saber-toothed marsupial cats, big marsupial bears, and giant marsupial sloths, as well as kangaroo-like animals and small mousy marsupials that you can still see today. And before you ask, no, I wasn't around in prehistoric times. Thank you. Oh dear, we would get back to reptiles, wouldn't we? Well, I suppose it's only natural. Australia has its fair share of them. Oh, some people call this spiky creature a moloch, but others say it's a thorny devil, and there's no denying the appropriateness of that name. The thorns not only keep other animals from biting it, but they're arranged in such a way that they gather the dew and funnel the drips of water right into the lizard's mouth. Yeah, I've been actually trying to devise a similar system with a tin hat and a drain pipe, but I'm getting tired of standing around all night collecting dew. Well, you just can't beat Mother Nature. Here are more devils, Tasmanian devils. If you put several of these little marsupials into a confined area with a small amount of meat, oh, you'd find out how they got their name. Oh, you never heard such growling and yowling and hissing in your life. Oh, they'll gobble down hair, bones, intestines, almost anything they can cram in between their sharp little teeth. Oh, but they're really quite placid fellows, as long as you don't get between them and their food. Oh, I offered one a dog biscuit once. Did I ever show you the scar on my hand? Here's a marsupial you'll never see in real life. This thylacine, or Tasmanian wolf, used to live on mainland Australia and on the nearby island of Tasmania. It died out in Australia thousands of years ago, maybe because people brought in dogs, now called dingoes, and the dingoes ran wild and took over. But on Tasmania, the thylacines hunted wallabies and other small animals until the Europeans brought in sheep in the 1800s. Now, if you were a thylacine, would you rather chase a scrawny wallaby that could bound away at high speed, or a nice, fat, slow sheep? Right. So, thylacines decided they liked the sheep, and the ranchers decided they didn't like the thylacines and put a bounty on their heads. So, sad but true, the thylacines were wiped out forever. Just as people have shoved some animals right out of Australia, they've also brought in new ones. Ooh, now here's a pushy latecomer. This giant marine toad, as big as a dinner plate, is known in Australia as the cane toad. It was imported with the idea that it would eat grubs and save the sugarcane crop. But it had other ideas. It ate smaller toads, frogs, a lot of the local wildlife instead. It gulps down anything that will fit into its mouth. No, it makes baby toads like crazy. And if any animal tries to eat it, it puffs up and oozes out venom from glands on its head, killing the poor animal that's trying to swallow it. we've created a natural disaster that's now happily hopping around Australia. It just goes to show you, it never pays to mess with Mother Nature. Oh. Now you've seen some of Australia's unusual monotremes and marsupials. Oh, not to mention a few impressive reptiles and one obnoxious toad. Now, if you'd like to explore by yourself, click any of the buttons below. Oh, but beware, Australia has a larger percentage of venomous creatures than anywhere else on Earth. It might be safer to join me or one of the other expert guides on another tour. To do that, click my button again to return to the guides screen.
Before we finish up this video, let's head over to the Atlas. So let's see what we've got here. We've got rats, platypuses, funnel-web spiders, mosquitoes, cane toads, cockroaches, Tasmanian devils, crocodiles, sea wasps, blue-ringed octopi, stingrays, great white sharks, porcupine fish, crabs, sea snakes, and lionfish. Definitely looks like an inviting place. But they are all beautiful animals in their own way. I'm Brian Croydragon signing out. Stay straight!